I'm Johnny Vegas, and you're listening to KopTalk with Dunk. And all you other Liverpool sites, just stop embarrassing yourself, alright?
Yo, what up? This your boy Smooth, straight from New York. You're listening to KopTalk Podcast. Remember this, you never walk alone, but if you fuck with us, you walk with a limp.
Alright guys, how's it going? It is Wednesday the 25th of October 2023 and you're listening to the KopTalk Podcast. How the devil are you? Right, I'm back from my little jolly to America to see my friend Smooth, who you hear on the intro to each of these episodes. It was a good little break, but I'm happy to be back. There's no place like home. And believe it or not, I really miss being sat at my desk doing all the KopTalk stuff. So, we need to catch up on a few things. And what we'll start with today is an article on KopTalk.com. It's on the front page at the moment. Or if you go to KopTalk.com, when you're listening to this, click on News, Liverpool FC News. And this article about Kalvin Phillips is in relation to the ongoing speculation, on and off, not very strong, linking ourselves and him. Now, I spoke to an agent that I've known a number of years that is kind of close to the players' camp, the players' entourage, if you like. It's not the agent or the agency, which would be CAA Stella, that represent him and Kanate as well. I'll just point that out because it's always good to know if there's existing relationships. So I did speak to an agent, but it's not the player's direct representative. It's what I would refer to as like a third-party agent or something. And sometimes an agency will hire the services or ask a favour of another agent, from another friend or whatever, to do something for them on their behalf. Because then that eliminates them from being accused of doing anything. So let's just say Stella is trying to offer their client, Phillips, to Liverpool, and then Man City find out. They say, "Hey, what do you think you're doing? You haven't got permission to do that." So we haven't done anything, because possibly they might have got a third-party representative to do it for them. This happens all the time, guys. Anyway, so this particular agent was talking to me about a few things, and one of them was to do with Liverpool and our apparent interest, or not so, in Kalvin Phillips. Now, the latest report suggests that we could make an attempt to sign him during the January transfer window. The 27-year-old is looking for a move away because he wants to, represent England at the Euros, and he's not playing very often. He thinks he might lose out, on an international front if he's not getting regular game time. Now, let's skip straight to the quotes from this particular source. I don't like using the word source, I've got to be honest with you. It sounds a bit all ITK-ish, but for the grown-ups, I think you understand that when we use the word source on KopTalk, we're usually talking about a friend or someone. And this source said, Kalvin would love a move to Liverpool, but despite a few conversations between his representatives and Anfield, the chances of such appear slim at the moment. He has been offered, but Liverpool have shown no signs of taking him on. Klopp has previously responded with praise and admiration, but the deal that would be required to complete isn't attractive to him, to the Liverpool manager. So, in other words, he's been offered to Liverpool by someone somewhere, unofficially, I'm sure. And the response has kind of been, whether it's come directly from Klopp or indirectly, like maybe someone speaking on behalf of Klopp and said, look, a lot of praise, a lot of admiration. We can only assume, that he would say, great addition to the squad and all that. But the deal isn't attractive to the Liverpool manager or to me if it's Klopp speaking, right? Okay? And that's got to be, maybe it's money, I don't know. But it might not be that this player, his wages are too bad or anything. I think he's on 150 grand a week. But it might just be that to make that happen, the boss might then lose some of that money from other ideas he's got. And Liverpool right now, right, are trying to land the Brazil international André. I'm sure you'll have seen lots of reports about this. The latest reports are that Arsenal are the favourites to get him. Well, let me tell you this. Talks between Liverpool and his club Fluminense have been arranged, okay, to discuss a possible January transfer. A delegation from Anfield is due in Brazil next month, details of which are available on the VIP members website. Okay, so if you want to become a VIP member, which is the best way of supporting me and accessing a community that's been online for decades, right? It's where I hang out. If you want to go and see the exact quote information that was posted by the source, right? It's on the KopTalk VIP members website. Just go to KopTalk.com and click on, which one is it? On the right-hand side, you'll see About VIP Membership, or you can click on Support and get VIP. One of the links on the top right side, okay? But you don't need to do that. That's just if you want to dig deep into these things and you like your Liverpool news and gossip from credible people and important people. And the source on that is someone that's been with the website for years, that everyone within the community gets very, very excited about when they post. And it's not every day like you see these Twitter ITKs and whatnots, okay? Because that's dream world. This is reality. Now, if you are a podcast patron, you're listening to the podcast, right? If you're a podcast patron, member tier or above, you can also access that update on Patreon, okay? And if you're, on KopTalk.tv, if you are a member or above, you can also access it on there. So those are your options, okay? If you want to, get my opinions deeper than what I'm going to get. I'm going to try and tell you as much as I think anyway on this podcast. So you do not need to be a member, okay? This is just for those of you that maybe want to support or maybe want to see everything that's been said. In summary, what I can say to you is that these two different articles, they are linked, I think. We're talking about midfield players. Calvin Phillips, the source is... this isn't quotes that are out there on KopTalk.com. You don't have to be a member for that. This is, good intel, I think. The suggestion that Klopp has responded with praise and admiration, but the numbers don't add up or whatever. And then the bolt onto that, of course, is the information on the members' website about André. Now, if you're not in a position to support the members' website or you don't want to, let me just tell you, all you need to know, right, is that Liverpool are trying to make a deal happen for that player. And if I remember rightly, the comment on the part of the quotes that were posted on the members' website yesterday were that the relationship between Liverpool's... Was it? I'm going to have to go and have a look now myself. See, I'm terrible. My memory... It's let me have a look. Right, I'm on the VIP members' website. And it's in the Executive Lounge Scouting Department. Scouting Department doesn't mean it's relating to scouting, okay? Scouting Department is a forum that we have for all specific transfer intel and information relating to Liverpool Football Club. It's just called the Scouting Department. Here we go. Relations are said to be very good between Billy, which means Billy Hogan, and Mario Bittencourt. Now, Bittencourt is the Fluminense president. So, you don't need to be a member, okay? I'm not trying to flog you the site. That's basically all you need to know is that Liverpool are trying to do something on that front for January, guys. For January. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Do you know what I mean? We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But I get very excited when certain contributors surface on the members' website. And I can tell you right now that the information posted on there from that person will be 100 billion% concrete, okay? So Liverpool are definitely trying to do something for André. Now, are they trying to do something for Calvin Phillips? I don't think so. The information supplied to us suggests not. I never say no in football, but I don't think so. And I think I did a video about this today on KopTalk TV, www.koptalk.tv, I read, which is available to everyone, which kind of touches on what I'm saying. So, I did a video yesterday as well. FSG consider major investment deal to rival Newcastle's PIF. Sounds very exciting, right? But it was clickbait. clickbait nonsense. I did a video about that, and I did include that in the title, but so that I'm not clickbaiting people, I put in brackets Echo Guff, because it came from the Echo, and it's a load of guff. Basically, they want to lure people in, prey on the vulnerable, that think that this is, FSG looking at a major investment to rival Newcastle and their owners, but really fuck all to do with it. It's nothing to do with football at all. Absolute joke the Echo has become these days, which is really sad, because back in the day, it was, as Brendan Rodgers would say, fantastic. I'm back in doing, the videos. There was a video on there the other day about Inacio as well. I'm just trying to think. For the life of me, I can't remember what the content was about to do with that one, but that was a members one. We also did Liverpool, AC Milan and Benfica battle for Fernandes. There was Victor Osimhen. Claims of a contract being agreed, which we don't believe. There's quite a few videos on the YouTube channel if you want to go and watch them. So, we are on the podcast. So, we're going to try and stick to what maybe isn't covered over there. Well, I guess we've got to cover what's over there. We can't turn a blind eye to it. Mo Salah, of course, Scoot Player of the Month, didn't he, for September? That was good. That came out the other day, and rightly so. That was nice. The Inacio article... there is an Inacio article on the KopTalk members website, KopTalk.com. Just go to the front page. It's on there. This will be the video, I guess, what the video was about. Let me have a look. Liverpool continues to be linked with him, despite not following up their interest in him during the summer. The mainstream media are reporting that Jurgen Klopp had scouts assigned, present scouts assigned to the centre-back, which sounds a little suspicious to me, guys, because what else is there for, the boss to know about? We've had him scouted for ages, for a very long time. And the previous reports were glowing, so much so that I thought we would make an approach in the summer. I was told that. In fact, in this news article, it says, information supplied to us earlier in the year, we're going back to February, March now, suggested that this would be the case, but it didn't happen, and we were left feeling quite disappointed. Now, the media are claiming that Liverpool scouts watched the defender in action for Portugal against Bosnia on the 16th of October. Now, scouts from Manchester United are also said to have been present. And the media narrative that they're trying to put out there is that both clubs are going to battle it out for his signature. And they're trying to suggest that United are favourites due to the fact that Inacio is represented by Miguel Pino, who has an existing relationship with Manchester United due to also representing Bruno Fernandes. Now, the latest reports are speculative, and I wouldn't pay attention to them. But I would advise that you continue to monitor this player and what happens with him, because Klopp is a massive admirer. Now, we hear that many times, Klopp's an admirer, but it depends who it's coming from, guys. Right? You're going to have to trust me with this one. This is a player that Klopp would love to bring to Liverpool. I don't know why this didn't happen in the summer. Absolutely astounded. This would have been the one that I thought was going to happen, all right? And but it didn't. So it shows you what I know. But it says, like I put in this news article, we may not believe these particular claims. That's the we United and battling it out and all that nonsense and scouts at the moment. But we definitely wouldn't rule out future interest in him. Definitely one to watch. The only thing is, it costs more now than in the summer, which sounds like typical Liverpool. So that's one for you to watch. All right. What else have I got for you? Let's have a look and see what's been covered in the news today. So, according to Brazilian outlet Gazeta Esportiva, André, his next destination, could be confirmed ahead of the January window in early December. The Reds were linked with serious interest during summer months, although were unable to land the player due to Fluminense's participation in the Copa Libertadores Cup, right? Now, Anfield chiefs were respectful of this, allowing the opportunity to pass until the coming winter, and it has paid dividends, as the Brazilian club has since gone on to reach the final. This takes place on November 4th. Then the Brazilian Serie A campaign wraps up roughly a month later. At this point, André's future will be up for discussion. Liverpool will be confident they can complete the deal, though. One added complication is reported new interest from Premier League rivals Arsenal. Okay, so we've discussed this. Now, this is the Echo that's chiming in on this, all right? But Brazilian outlet Gazeta Esportiva. So they're the ones that are going down this route. The Echo are bringing it to everyone's attention. And it does fall into to what I'm hearing, and I don't want to go into specifics on this podcast. I like to keep some things a little bit private sometimes, which is why we have the private podcasts, the private videos, because you don't want everything to be out there sometimes. One, for a quiet life. Two, it can be damaging to the club. And at the moment, all I think you guys need to know, if you're not a participant in any of these things, is that Liverpool are trying to make something happen. And there is a good chance that something could happen for January. But will it? I have no fucking idea, because I am not a Twitter ITK. But keep calm and carry on. We'll be all right. I don't know. Liverpool are trying to do things, so that'll do for me. Okay. Athletic Club Chief speaks on Nico Williams rumours linked to Liverpool at different points this year. Nico Williams offers an interesting prospect as a future attacking addition. The Reds and other clubs have been suggested as potential destinations. However, Athletic Bilbao president John Uriarte has moved to squash talk of an exit. Now, he's been quoted, right, as saying, the rumours are a recurring theme. In Bilbao, we have peace of mind. We want an attractive project for Nico and other players, as with another youngster, Unai Gomez. We trust that Nico will find the project attractive, and we think that's how it's going to be. His family is loyal to Athletic. Staying is the best for his career. As for possible rumours, we have no idea. The 21-year-old is out of contract at the end of the season, guys. And, apparently the player is trying to get this resolved as soon as possible. Now, are Liverpool sniffing around him? You bet their fucking lives they're sniffing around him. Definitely one, I think, to listen out to. Okay. Obviously, we've got the press conference. We've got the game. Toulouse and everything. Not going to go into that because by the time you listen to this, it might be outdated. But if I click on here, maybe I can open this in another browser. Neil Jones, or as some people call him, Bridget Jones, is very sceptical about Victor Osimhen being linked with Liverpool. He was writing for some website somewhere, and he's got an opinion, but you know what? I don't care what his opinion is because I don't think he's worth paying attention to. Maybe you guys do. I noticed and predicted earlier this year, if you follow my content, you'll know, I predicted a couple of these journalists would be, just doing a lot more this year with different things. It doesn't mean that I have any vendetta or any problem with any of these journalists. I don't know these journalists personally. I know of them, who some of their contacts and friends are, and I know where some of the big gun journalists stand with their opinions, which they do not express publicly. But what I mean is, some of these journalists today that I call the Liverpool clique were previously, many years ago, actually pretty good. But then, because the media's changed, it's through no fault of their own, they've just dropped away to the point that they're not really relevant anymore. And they're just like going by what they previously were. Does that make sense? So I'm not digging at Neil Jones, I don't know him, or the other one, Lynch. But, and they're just trying to do what they want to do. And maybe their opinions are great and they've got insight and that's good. But there's journalists out there that I actually like that are in the mainstream media, all right? That back in the day, they were the ones you would pay attention to. But maybe they're new players or managers or whatever, and they move on. And then they lose them relationships and the good intel. So today, really, you've only got the likes of Ornstein and Joyce. But I do like to see what James Pearce has to say, because I find him humorous. But the others, I'm not really interested in. So it would be wrong for me to focus on what he's saying because I don't have any faith in the other journalists. That's just my opinion, but maybe they're really cool, nice guys or whatever. So I just want to be clear that when I say not interested in what he's good to say, it's not because I dislike them or anything. I just genuinely don't think that you should pay any attention. Liverpool are said to be taking a liking to Real Sociedad's Robin Le Normand. Robin Le Normand. All right. Now, the ever-reliable team talk believe that Liverpool and their rivals Manchester United are keeping tabs on this emerging target. The French-born Spanish internationals, 27 years of age, with a reported release clause of 43.6 million. I don't believe that, guys, do you? Okay. Who else have we got? Fabrizio Romano. Now, Fabrizio Romano, I think some of these journalists that used to be something now see the following that Fabrizio Romano has with his YouTube and stuff like that, and I think they want to be Fabrizios. You know what I mean? Romano, I think he's pretty cool. I like him, and I would listen to him. See, so that's the difference, right? I would listen to Fabrizio Romano because I do know where he gets some information from, and I know he's got people on the inside. I talked about this on my mailing list before. My mailing list is still going, by the way. There just hasn't been much to do. And my Chrome laptop that I bought a few months ago was absolutely pants, to be honest with you. But when I was in New York recently, I met a Liverpool fan called Vivek, who's been a KopTalk VIP member for years, right? And he said to me, "You're coming out to America, aren't you, Dunk?" I said, "I am." He says, "Are you coming to Texas? That's where I live." I said, "I'm not." He says, "Where are you going to be?" I said, "New York." And he said, "I'll come to New York and see you." So to cut a long story short, Vivek flew all the way from Texas to New York State to meet me in the Perfect Pint pub, my favourite pub, just off Times Square, one day, towards the end of my little vacation. Well, it wasn't a vacation, but my little jolly, right? And to cut a long story short, he came along, lovely guy, we had a good night, and he brought me a present. And do you know what the present was? A brand new MacBook laptop. And not just a basic one, which, let's be honest, a basic MacBook's fucking brilliant. But one with extra RAM, 15-inch, nice, like, dark colour, like, really trendy colour. Amazing. Guys, I didn't know where to put myself, honestly. Just what a nice gesture. And do you know what he said to me? He says, "You've updated us for years, Dung. I really appreciate your content. And I know that by getting you this laptop, it will keep many Liverpool fans in the loop and happy and stuff like that." How nice is that? You know? And since I got that laptop, I have done a lot more on it. I really have. And I've done a lot more stuff on a night time, for example, and I've done more live streams and things like that. So we've got to thank him. Thank you, Vivek. You absolute fucking legend. I don't think he'll be listening to this, but he's on the members' website and he's cool as well. I can't remember why I brought it up into conversation to do with laptops and that, to be honest. But anyway, we were talking about Fabrizio Romano somewhere, weren't we? And Fabrizio Romano, I do know some of the people that, I know one or two people that provide information to him, and I do know that he's got contacts within places where they sign off paperwork to do with transfers and stuff like that. And Fabrizio Romano is worth paying attention to, and I do think a lot of these other journalists now think that they can be like him and get a following like him. But they're not going to, in my opinion. Anyway, he's not aware of Calvin Phillips' talk, it says here, using the exact same wording as Sky Germany in another report. Fabrizio Romano has now stated it looks increasingly likely that Phillips will leave Man City in January. And he said, "I'm not aware of any negotiation with Liverpool at this stage, despite what's been reported elsewhere. It's very quiet around Liverpool as of now. No decision will be made in October for their transfer plans in the January window. It will be decided later this year." Now, that's the first time I've seen those quotes, and he's bang on, in my opinion, all right? Because, traditionally, Liverpool would usually have a sit-down, like a transfer summit, if you like, internal transfer summit in November, third week of November, right? And, if you follow my content, I've been sort of like saying, expect, keep an eye on credible transfer stuff coming out late November. Mid-November it'll start. So what you're seeing now is you're going to see a lot of chatter, a lot of links, and some of it will be true, some of it will be nonsense. But I think when you get to mid-November, that's when you start paying attention, right? So late November is when you might start to see things and think, yeah, there's some fucking truth in that. Do you know what I'm saying, guys? So I agree with him that there's no negotiation with Liverpool and Phillips. It fits in with what, has been channeled to me. And he's saying it's very quiet around Liverpool as of now, which I agree with. And with regards to their transfer plans, it would be, later this year, which ties in with information we have regarding André and Liverpool's interest and when they intend to step up to the table with that. What else we got? Sky Germany have reported that Bayern Munich midfielder Jamal Musiala is not thinking about leaving the club. Liverpool are reportedly monitoring him as a, quote, possible top replacement for Mo Salah next season. However, the reporter has claimed a move for a German international would only be realistic in the next 3 years, and the only options are Real Madrid and Manchester City. Okay, let's advance from that, because I think if we focus too much on this, we're going to start reading loads and loads and loads of different links and stuff, and I will not just talk about any transfer stuff for the sake of doing so. Press conference roundup. Here we go. The main talking points from Jurgen Klopp's press conference. Andy Robertson has undergone surgery today. Rehab starts now. Cody Gakpo back in team training, available for selection. Method behind Darwin Núñez snub for the Merseyside derby. And not many changes to be expected tomorrow night. The Darwin Núñez method, the quote is as follows. Darwin is in a really good moment. Took some time to adapt to everything, but everyone is very happy with him. We made a decision of who of two could start versus Everton, Diaz or Darwin. Lucho's job was to create. Darwin came on and killed the game. That was the idea. It worked. Now, I think Núñez has been better this season, but I'm not sure that there is absolute confidence in him. I've got to be honest with you with that. And I've heard whispers like that, but nothing big enough to go, guys, you're not going to believe this. So it would be wrong, I think, for me to try and make out that he's been written off. I don't think he has been written off. And I think he does have a future at Liverpool immediately. But I wouldn't be surprised if you start to see us being linked with some other players. But we've got Mo Salah expected to go next. Well, he's off, let's be honest. Right, so let me type a few things in here. I don't know what you guys think of Núñez. I like him, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's keep it positive. Right. What else have we got? So that's the press. The press conference is out there. I'm sure you'll have seen it. I don't want to focus on it too much. Okay, guys? Let's move on. So let's have a look at today's gossip in the mainstream media. Newcastle United could reignite their interest in Man City and England midfielder Calvin Phillips if they decide to bring in a short-term signing to cover the expected absence of Italy international Sandro Tonali, which all kicked off regarding him, hasn't it? That's in the eye. The Athletic say other midfielders on Newcastle's radar to replace Tonali, who is facing a ban for breaking betting rules, include Man United and Scotland's Scott McTominay, Everton and Belgium's Amadou Onana, and Fulham and Portugal's Palhinha. Why do football players get addicted to fucking gambling? You know what I mean? Like, to me, like, it's taking part. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'll have a £1 on that, £5 on that, whatever. Because it's all you can afford, really, as ordinary people. We can't go putting thousands of pounds and on tens of thousands on a fucking game of football. And I'm not sure I'd want to. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're already rich, why do you need more money? Why? What's that all about? I know it's all to do with, addiction and fucking chasing shit and stuff like that. But I never understand it. If I win £100 on a football game, which I don't fucking do because I don't put money on like that, I have done over the years. I'm fucking buzzing off my tits. But I look at it in a different way. I think £100, fucking hell, that's going to pay this, that's going to pay that. These fuckers, they're just great. God, I ain't got no patience for them. Sky Italy, Newcastle's Tonali is facing a 10-month ban, which would cause him to miss the rest of the season and the Euros, should Italy qualify after investigations into alleged betting offences. The Mail say Chelsea are ready to test Arsenal's resolve over England goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale, who has lost his place to Spain international David Raya in Mikel Arteta's side this season. 90 min, Arsenal, Liverpool and Tottenham are interested in Athletic Bilbao's Spanish winger Nico Williams. Aston Villa tried to sign the 21-year-old and remain keen. 90 min, you never pay attention to them. Okay, they're regurgitating it from somewhere else. Sky Sports Deutschland. Bayern Munich's Germany winger Jamal Musiala, 20, would consider a move to Man City or Real Madrid if he feels his goals of winning the Champions League and the Ballon d'Or are no longer realistic at Bayern. Football Insider, more shite. Manchester United have abandoned proposed big money deals in January for Sporting Lisbon and Portugal centre-back Gonçalo Inácio, 22, and France defender Jean-Claire Todibo, 23. Excuse me. 90 min. Jadon Sancho may be allowed to leave Man United on a long-term loan in January, with the England winger's former club Borussia Dortmund leading the chase. Sky Sports Deutschland. However, Sancho is unlikely to return to Dortmund in January, and instead it is Italian side Juventus who could offer an escape route. Standard. Fulham want to sign Stuttgart forward Serau Guirassy, 27, who scored 14 times in the Bundesliga this season, including 2 hat-tricks. He has a release clause of just over £15 million. Calcio Mercato in Italia. Juventus are planning a loan deal for Tottenham midfielder Pierre-Emile Højbjerg in January, with the option of signing the 20-year-old Denmark midfielder permanently next summer. The Athletic said that Man United assistant boss Michel van der Gaag is expected to stay at the club despite the managerial vacancy at his former club Ajax. The Times, Fulham boss Marco Silva received assurances that he will be able to spend significantly in the transfer market before signing his new contract. Birmingham Live say Aston Villa are tracking Sporting Lisbon's Mozambique winger Jenny Catamo. That's got to be Genny Catamo, who is 22. The Birmingham Mail say Aston Villa and West Ham have been told by Real Madrid they must pay about €20 million, £17.8 million, if they want to sign Spain-born Moroccan attacking midfielder Brahim Diaz, 24. And finally, the Sunderland Echo report that Sunderland are keen to tie English winger Jack Clarke, 22, down to a new contract and ward off any further interest from Burnley, who had several bids for the former Leeds United player rejected in the summer. How's about that then? There's your latest mainstream media claims and suggestions from today. I must also touch briefly on the passing of Ken Wright that you will have learnt about. There's a lot of Bill Kenwright obituaries and things like that. And I know he was with the enemy, but I think he loved his Everton, lifelong fan. And he made the journey from the boys' pen, they say, to the boardroom and then owner, and it's sad. Do you know what I mean? I it's not for me to comment as to what Everton fans think of, how good he did for the club, but his heart was in the right place, and that to me means a lot. And it's sad when football clubs lose their identity and people like that. Okay, so I just wanted to touch on the passing of Bill Kenwright. Okay, so is there anything else to talk about? Looking on the KopTalk VIP members website, that's where I hang out, guys. That's where I am. I'm not flogging it. No, honestly, it's the best way to support me, without a doubt. If you're a diehard Red, you should be on there. If you're relying on social media, you're deluded. They're talking about Salah, obviously, his PFA Premier League award. We posted about VVD's new pre-match routine. I had a little story I posted about Luis de la Fuente. I was on a flight recently from Madrid to Alicante. It was last week. And when I was on the bus that transfers you from the gate to the plane, a couple, a man and a woman, man and wife, whatever, they were together. They saw it. They went and approached a man stood next to me at the door. I was stood upright holding that one of them poles. I don't mean a Polish person. I mean one of them metal poles, right? And they had a photograph with him. And I'm thinking, who's this fella? I thought, he looks familiar. But nobody else bothered about him. Now, on the flight, it was a very, very small plane. So it was an internal flight, 45 minutes long. Madrid to Alicante, 4 seats wide. You can't even take your hand luggage on board than your normal cases you can on a Ryanair flight, for example. Because there's nowhere to put them. You can only take a teeny bag to put under the seat in front of you. So it's a very, very enclosed environment. And he sits next to me. I said, hola. Right, now, I'm sat there thinking, I know this fucker's face. Now, I've got no internet, so I can't Google anything. Do you know what I mean? And no one's bothering with him. But he was dressed casually, tight jeans, trainers. He looked the part. You could tell he had money. That was number one. And you could tell he was fit, healthy. Unlike me, sat there in my tracksuit bottoms with fuck all. Do you know what I mean? Huffing and puffing. And when I get home that night, I just thought to myself, I'm sure he's an Italian manager or a Spanish manager. But because I'm in Spain, I'm thinking, that's got to be Spain. The Spanish people are speaking to him, blah, blah, blah. And I went home, and when I got my internet and everything, I sat down with my laptop, and I Googled famous Spanish managers. And it was him. It was this chap. And I bet some of you don't even know who he is anyway, so I didn't feel too bad later, because most people I wouldn't have recognised him. He's called Luis de la Fuente, and he is the manager of Spain. Like the national side. He's the manager of fucking Spain, and he sat next to me. And I can't believe I could have had a conversation, but I could have tried to have a conversation. I should have had a selfie. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, selfie. When I was a kid, a selfie was a completely different meaning to today, but we'll leave that. So that was one thing. That was one conversation I was sharing on the members' website. Discussions about Shimikas and Robbo, Liverpool social media. Going back a little bit to Mo Salah and that statement regarding the conflicts that's going on at the moment. In the scouting department, we're discussing André, Osimhen, Pedro Neto. That's an interesting one, guys, and I think you need to keep an eye on that. I don't really want to go over old news, but there was... let me have a look. Someone mentioned this. Oh, this is interesting. Someone, Rich T, great. He's someone I consider a friend. He's been with the website since the 90s. And I have met Rich. He's a good guy. He's put same agent as André that we're continuing to be linked with for a January move. I didn't know that. That's very, very interesting. And I've discovered that in real time with you guys. Maybe I did know that, but I forgot. You know what I'm like. Pedro Neto, we almost signed him at one point. He underwent a medical check, not a pre-transfer medical. He underwent a medical check on behalf of ourselves some time ago, and not many people know this. Now, someone associated to the medical team at Anfield, and I've put in brackets a member here, so they're on the KopTalk VIP members website, provided that information to me. They did not even post that information on the members website themselves. They came to me with it, right? Because it was very, very hush-hush. It was done with the consent of his club. Now, it wasn't a medical like you'd have during a transfer, I've put here. Since then, nothing, but Klopp likes him a lot. So there was some kind of agreement between them clubs where it was like, we're going to have him checked out. Is that all right? Yeah, whatever. So that it looked at one point, this is going back a while, that he could go to Liverpool. And I think we almost signed him. So, but obviously there was things that happened. Now, I posted that back in September. A month later, I posted that on the 29th of September. On the 21st of the October, a month later, on the same update, you know, we've got the ongoing thing to do with Pedro Neto. I put, there is increasing chatter behind the scenes about Neto, which I find rather interesting. It might be worth keeping an eye on reports surrounding his future. Therefore, suggestions are looking for a move, clubs being linked, etc., which would indicate that his agent is trying to instigate something. Pedro Neto, I've said it for fucking ages, guys. Keep an eye on him, all right? Now, what I'm going to do in real time, because I haven't checked today, is I'm going to see if there's anything in the news to do with him. Let's have a look. What's the latest speculation surrounding him? I think Arsenal sniffing round him. El Atlético Madrid es uno de los clubes that want to sign. I think Los Pasos. I think that means. There's quite a bit of speculation out, about him. This has been an interesting one. I want to read this. Let's have a look what was said in to do with athletes. What's this here? It's all in Spanish. I ain't got time for that. Look, my Spanish is good, right? If this was me at home, I would be able to understand. It's not translating, but because I try to be very specific with you, I don't want to mislead you, and that's what can happen with translations. But what I can tell you, I can read enough of this. It is a report from Spain. It says Athletic Club is one of the clubs that follows Pedro Neto, the Portuguese winger. Liverpool and Arsenal are already closely monitoring his progress. And I tell you what, guys, I would bet my life on it that Liverpool are still interested in him. I honestly really, really would. Right. Now, Wolves manager Gary O'Neill has commented about his situation. And he said he's incredibly happy at Wolves. He's enjoying his football and he's rediscovered some good form. I don't think he's suggested anything else. But listen, he is the one to watch. Absolutely. I know I say that with some players. I say, keep an eye on that. But that's the sneaky one. No one really thinks that. And like I say, we do have a very close link to the medical situation at the club. I'd love to say more, but I can't. But if you are on the members' website, you I don't know, maybe you will know who that is on there or not. I don't know. Right, so let's advance. What else have we got to talk? How long have we been recording for? Oh, that's enough. 40 minutes. Bloody hell. Right, let's give a shout out to the squad. Right, these motherfuckers are very, very loyal people. And I mean that. These are the most loyalists. They don't give up on me. You know what I mean? You know, like I could come and make podcasts on here every day of the fucking week. Do what the so-called Twitter ITKs do, and content creators on YouTube, and patronise you and tell you this, that, and the other. If I'm quiet, there's fucking nothing to tell you. Now, obviously, I went away, right? So I ain't got all my equipment, and I can't, do everything that I want to do for you. But I can still provide podcast episodes while I'm away. So if there was something worth discussing, I would have churned it out for these guys, definitely, right? But the names I'm going to read out to you, all right, are people that have stayed loyal with me, right? And like, if anyone could moan, these guys could. Because they could say you haven't done a podcast for X amount of time. But they stayed loyal to me. Honestly, and this is really, really important. And I don't forget that, guys. So I'm going to give a shout out to these motherfuckers, right? Because if it worked for these people, there wouldn't be a podcast. And the appreciation for these people is through the roof, right? Now, this podcast doesn't make money, like profit, like for me to go and have a nice fucking time or anything. These people contribute. And what comes in from this podcast once a month pays a bill. It's that simple. So you should have a lot of like appreciation for these guys. Seriously, man, these are the top people because, like I say, they could bail on me at any time, right? Okay, so I'm going to give a shout out to what I call the squad, as Rafa Benitez would say, the squad. And if you want to join the squad and join this elite list of people, you can go to www.KopTalkPodcast.com, and for the cost of a coffee or a coffee once a month, one coffee once a month, you can get your name on this list and get a shout out on every fucking episode, right? And become a supporter of the podcast. You get all the adverts removed. You can listen to an archive of episodes, and also when I do private episodes, and there will be some. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do a private episode today. I thought about it, but I didn't want to do it. There are some coming, all right? So, or KopTalk VIP member gets you all the extras from here and KopTalk TV. So I know, listen, guys, I got to hustle, right? I got to pay the bills. And trust me, winter is a very difficult time. But I will not resort to clickbaiting people and adapting tactics that all the other fucking divs do to you people. I will not do that. And that's probably why I have to fucking, put the begging ball out sometimes for support, because I won't do that. So fuck it, at least... Listen, at least I can hold my head up high and lift them chins up, you know what I mean? Right, listen, www.KopTalkPodcast.com if you want to join the squad. Shout out to those of you collectively, to those of you on the old fan tier. It's called it's a legacy tier. It's no longer available, but it is there, all right? And for those of you that are still on it, you're still entitled to use it. I tried to help people out that were skint last year. Just trying to help. Not these people that are on there. It doesn't mean they're skint. I just tried to offer... I think it was £1 a month or something like that. So there are some people that are still on there, and I am very grateful to you guys for maintaining that, because, listen, £1 a month is £1 a month, and I do appreciate it. We then have the KopTalk supporters. That's right. The guys buying me a coffee once a month. We got Vincent, Tom Brown, Simon, Phil, Matt Bingling, Jimmy, Jamie Gilmore. We have Hamza. We have Glyn Taylor. We have Aaron O'Dowd. We then have what we call the members. Now, the members... they don't just get the podcast ad-free and stuff like that. They also get videos that are, from KopTalk TV, the private videos, the member videos. They get snippets from the members' website and everything. So if you're on the member tier on this podcast or above, you don't just get the podcast, you get other things as well. Because it's my way of saying thank you. So you've got Tyler Dean Williams, Paul MC, Matt Meeker, James Lee, Jack Rudgley. You have Clint in there as well, and Big Wave Dave and Andrew Evans. And then we've got our legends. I've got 3 legends, and again, they're getting all the same things as the members and that, but these guys, they buy me a couple of coffees and maybe a biscuit. Michael Couchman, who also supports the Dunk Knows Best podcast. David Sutcliffe and Adam Naylor. All of those names that I've just read out to you are amazing people, and they make this podcast possible. And I think I've really emphasised that today, because when I come on and record a podcast, I always think, oh God, is there anybody left? And they're still here. How loyal is that? And I am so grateful, and I'm going to do my best to make it up to you guys. All right. So if you just want to cut out the adverts, or just want to support the podcast, just the support level. But if you want to get the snippets and the videos and stuff like that and blah blah blah, member or above. Thanks guys, honestly, man. I honestly, I'm so grateful. www.KopTalkPodcast.com. Right. I know I waffled on a bit there, guys, but these people are very, very important to me. They fucking really, really are. Right. That's your lot for today. Quite a long episode, really. Now, when I've been away for a while and not done an episode, I struggle to get back into the swing of things. But my intentions are to be here with you tomorrow. Okay, we will be here tomorrow. And hopefully that will be a podcast episode available to everyone. Now, if you're not in a position to support the podcast by becoming a patron, don't worry about it, all right? You're listening. And, you listen and, I get a few cents or whatever it is from the commercials and things like that. Don't skip them. Listen to them. It helps, man. Just hit play and just fucking turn away and ask her if tea's on or something like that. All right, guys. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Podcast@koptalk.com is the email address if you want anything reading out. And, I'm enjoying it. I'm glad to be back. And let's hope we can keep you guys updated. Keep the faith. Please try and remember to keep an eye on André, Pedro, Neto, and anyone else that I've mentioned along the way. All right, guys, take care, and thanks for listening. Hooray!